The gloves are officially off in the New York City mayoral race. What began as a contentious campaign has just erupted into an all-out political war. Andrew Cuomo, running as a hard-charging independent, has just delivered what can only be described as a devastating blow to socialist frontrunner Zohran Mamdani. We're not just talking about policy disagreements. We're talking about a multi-pronged assault targeting Mamdani's finances, his ethics, and his global ties. The central accusation? That Mamdani, a champion of the working class, is living in a $2,300 a month rent-stabilized apartment while earning a six-figure salary and hailing from a wealthy family. This is the story of a political firestorm that could define the future of New York. Let's break it down. At the very heart of this controversy is an issue that strikes a raw nerve with millions of New Yorkers: housing. Cuomo's camp has zeroed in on the fact that Zohran Mamdani, a state assemblyman earning over $140,000 a year, resides in a rent-stabilized unit. These apartments are the bedrock for affordability for countless low- and middle-income families, teachers, artists, and retirees who are barely hanging on. The objects are, to put it mildly, brutal. Cuomo argues that for a politician who built his brand on fighting for the little guy, to occupy one of these coveted units is the height of hypocrisy. Mamdani's defense, that he was unaware of the apartment's stabilized status when he moved in, has done little to quell the storm. After the story broke, he announced he would move out, but for many, the damage was already done. Cuomo is framing this not just as a mistake, but as a fundamental moral failure. Just as the apartment story was reaching a fever pitch, Cuomo shifted the battleground from local ethics to global accountability. He began hammering Mamdani over his family's reported property ownership in Uganda, a country that has become infamous for some of the most severe anti-LGBTQ+ laws on the planet. Wielding the language of the progressive movement against its own standard-bearer, Cuomo issued a chilling warning, declaring, "Silence is violence." He demanded that Mamdani not only denounce the regime, but also commit to a full boycott and divestment of any assets connected to the country until its human rights record improves. The message was surgically precise. If your ethical platform is universal, then your accountability must be global. It's an attack designed to splinter Mamdani's progressive coalition from within. Pivoting from moral attacks to pragmatic politics, Cuomo is now sounding the alarm on the national implications of a Mamdani mayoralship. He's arguing that electing a self-described socialist with these kinds of ethical vulnerabilities would be a gift to the National Republican Party. The playbook, Cuomo warns, is predictable. Republicans will seize on Mamdani as the new face of the Democratic Party, painting every candidate from city council to Congress as a radical extremist who is hypocritical and out of touch with mainstream values. In the current national climate, it's a potent argument. Cuomo is positioning himself as the only candidate who can not only win, but who can govern without handing the opposition a powerful weapon to use against Democrats nationwide. But Cuomo isn't just attacking, he's contrasting. As this controversy rages, he's strategically rolling out his own affordability plans, framing them as the realistic, responsible alternative to what he calls Mamdani's unaffordable idealism. Instead of universal free transit, Cuomo is proposing a $140 million plan for subsidized fares specifically for New Yorkers living under 150% of the federal poverty line. Instead of sweeping universal programs, he's offering $200 million in targeted grocery credits. It's a classic political maneuver, portraying himself as the pragmatist focused on achievable results while painting his opponent as an ideologue, promising a fantasy. He's forcing a debate not just on personality, but on two fundamentally different theories of government. Behind the scenes, the tactics are intensifying. Cuomo supporters are reportedly orchestrating a political nuclear option, a campaign urging wealthy homeowners in the Hamptons, many of whom hold secondary residences in the city, to change their voter registration to New York City for the sole purpose of voting against Mamdani. It's a legally permissible, if highly controversial strategy that could potentially shift the electorate. And then there's the shadowy subplot that's adding fuel to the fire. Whispers in political circles suggest that Donald Trump may have personally called Andrew Cuomo to offer strategic advice on how to best take down Mamdani. While both the Trump and Cuomo camps have vehemently denied any such communication, the mere suggestion of it is politically electric. The optics alone feed a powerful narrative, the old Democratic Guard and the National Republican establishment forming an unspoken alliance to crush a new wave progressive movement. Backed into a corner, Zohran Mamdani is doing what fighters do. He's punching back. He's not just deflecting the accusations, he's flipping the script. He's seizing on the rumored Trump involvement as definitive proof of a coordinated conspiracy by the billionaire class and the political establishment to rig the election against him. In a fiery press conference, he embraced the fight, proudly branding himself Donald Trump's worst nightmare. His message to his supporters is clear. This isn't a scandal, it's a badge of honor. He's arguing that the ferocity of the attacks against him is the ultimate validation that he is the only candidate truly willing to challenge the status quo and fight for working people without compromise. So, where does this leave us? Cuomo has unleashed a political masterclass in offense, using moral arguments, policy contrasts, and hardball tactics to put Zohran Mamdani on the defensive. But Mamdani is attempting to turn that offense into his greatest strength, casting himself as the underdog champion, taking on a corrupt system. This has escalated beyond a simple election. It's become a high-stakes chess match, a battle of credibility versus idealism. It's a fight for the future of New York. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these moves do you think will ultimately decide this race? The rent stabilization scandal, the warnings about the GOP, or Mamdani's Trump's worst nightmare counterattack? Share your thoughts in the comments below.